start by telling us, please, the injury news updates? Everyone turned up okay?
No, just Aaron Connolly, who's gone for a scan and he's having it at 2:45, I believe. So I won't know anything about that until we get the results back. The doctor gets them.
It was taken off at half-time. Is that, as you understand it, a precaution or was it a bad injury?
I don't know how bad it is, but he was injured, Guy. He was taken off because of injury and he's gone for a scan to see the extent of it. I said I won't know. I won't know until the doctor gets the results.
Obviously, the match on Thursday is sort of the beginning of the most important game of your second campaign. How are you going to approach Thursday in terms of players? How many of your first-team players will be starting, do you think, roughly?
Well, I'll be selecting from the squad and there'll be some who've been playing on a regular basis that won't be playing all the game, that's for sure. Bearing in mind that we're playing, as you just put it, our most important game since I've been back of this campaign, and I want them to be fresh for Monday.
How do you approach the game on Monday when you've got this game on Thursday? In terms of your training sessions today, Tuesday, Wednesday, is it all geared towards New Zealand or is it geared towards Denmark?
There'll be a bit of both. It's got to be, in terms of all the players who've played and been playing, making sure that they're not doing too much training, but making sure that they get plenty of game time against each other. Certainly the team that are going to be playing on Thursday. But bearing in mind the ones who have been playing already for us, it's not that we have to start from scratch. We have been. This is our last game of the group. But it's important to do both. We've got to treat New Zealand with the same respect as everybody else. And
how optimistic are you for Monday night?
Always, Guy. Yeah, we'll have to play well. They've only lost one game in 31. Denmark. If anybody wants to start, so that was against the futsal team when they went on strike. It shows the task we've got in front of us. But I always believe we can win, and Monday's no different.
Mick, you said when you named the squad that you might indicate that you might have a look at some of the younger lads on Thursday night. Is that something you still plan to do?
Yes, yeah, there'll be some of the younger lads who'll play, definitely.
Anyone in particular you're excited at looking at? Lee O'Connor, Troy Parrott, maybe?
Well, they're the young ones, so that's every chance, yeah. I've already said, I said the other night, that Jack will be involved. He'll play some part of the game. So, yes, I expect they will be playing.
And is there a scope for someone on Thursday night to force their way into your thinking for Monday?
There's a scope for them to do themselves a whole load of good, that's for sure. Whether that transmits into Monday or not, we'll find out. They've got to let them get in, let them play well. Let's hope we do play well. Let's hope we win, and let's see how I feel about them all after the game. But listen, they're all in the squad. They're all either on. Some slightly by default, Lee because he's suspended, and I wanted some cover. But nevertheless, all the others are here and been here throughout the last 7 games.
And can I just ask you how impressed you've been with Kieran Clark in the last few games?
Yeah, I went to watch him at West Ham. He played very well. I thought Newcastle were brilliant, to be quite honest. Scored a couple of goals. He's not somebody that I need to watch, and he's not like a new player that I've just suddenly found. I've known Kieran, he was in my first squad, but he's been injured. It's just the fact that he's back playing. Newcastle have had good results, and maybe that's a bit part down to him as well, because he played very well.
Hi Mick, is this friendly coming almost too late for you in that if a player does impress on Thursday, does he have a realistic chance of starting on the Monday?
Well, we've got a friendly. We just got a friendly to play. You're asking me the $1 million question there, and you've seen where we've been with my team. It's been pretty settled. Is there some young lad going to come in and rip it up? And bearing in mind it's a friendly against New Zealand, and not the difference between. I said we want to treat them with the same respect, but quite clearly it doesn't have the same importance. And all the players know that. I've been there, I know that. Turn up for a friendly, you play, you want to play well, there's a bit of nerves. It's not like Monday night. So we'll see.
Have you a fair idea of your starting team already, or are you going to wait to assess the players over the coming days?
as I just answered another question, you've seen where my starting lineup's been. There's not been that many changes, and we'll see what Monday brings. Let's see what Thursday brings first, and we'll get the team on Monday.
Yeah, and you went for a different formation against the Swiss. Can we expect a different formation on Thursday with a view to perhaps utilising that formation on the Monday?
Well, we'll be having a back four.
On Thursday.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Mate, given New Zealand haven't played in, I think, 18 months, what do you make of them and how have you gone about scouting them?
I don't make anything of them, and I haven't, to answer to both your questions. I can't see them. We'll be looking at whatever stuff that our analyst has got. We'll be having a look at them and see how they've played in the past and how we think they'll play now, what players they've got, what players are in the squad, and try and get some handle on how they're going to play, of course. But it's been pretty difficult. There's not that much out there for us. Certainly recent footage.
You must know a bit about Chris Wood, though, the Burnley striker. Leading the line, he'll probably be a pretty key player in New Zealand's attack.
If he is, yeah, if he's leading the line. I had him on loan at Ipswich. He's a terrific striker. He's in a good run of form as well. He's scoring goals. He's a real handful, Chris. Yeah, he's a good player.
Mick, I'm sure you were quite happy at the weekend to see Darren Randolph back playing again, and you'd be hopeful. I'm sure he's fit for certainly Monday. Will you have to mind him over the week to make sure that he doesn't have any reoccurrence, because he has been such an important player for Ireland in recent years?
Yes, we'll be taking care of him. We always discuss that with anybody who's been injured. We discuss it with their medical team as well, along with ours, and that is no difference to certainly with Robbie in the management team as well. We'll be making sure we look after him. I'm not bothered if he's training. I just want him playing on Monday.
And in relation to Thursday, if Troy does play, he'll be one of the youngest players to play for Ireland, certainly in recent memory. Will you speak to him individually in the week and maybe have a chat with him, because if he does play, it'll be clearly a massive moment in his recent career?
Of course, I'll speak to him. Yeah, like I speak to all the players. But I'm sure he's thrilled to be in the squad. Well, he did. He had a smile from ear to ear when he came in last night, and he'll be looking forward to it.
He seems to be the type of player so far with Tottenham and with the 21s here that he's been very, very confident in all of the teams and games he's played in. Do you expect the same from him when you see him to train this weekend, and if he does play on Thursday?
Let me see him train today. I've seen him walking. I've had a bite to eat with him. I can't really judge anything on sitting down and having an evening meal and lunch with him. And I haven't seen him since, really, to chat to. Don't forget, we've got 27 players in as well. Let me see. Let me judge him better when I see him in his first training session that he'll have here on the pitch today. It's hard to judge him before on that. I can't.
Hi, Mick. Results aside, are there any other metrics of success against New Zealand? Like, what's a successful outcome? Maybe the result aside.
Apart from the result, the performance, I guess, and performance of any young players that might get capped, might get a game, see how they play, see how they respond to playing in the first team. That's always going to be a measure of the success.
Given his injury record over the last few weeks, is it a risk, do you think, in playing David McGoldrick on Thursday, or are we likely to see him kind of wrapped in cotton wool for Monday?
It's a risk playing any of the first team who've been playing, isn't it? But I haven't named any of the players yet, so...
Yeah. How much of a boost is it that he should be available for Monday night?
Well, so far he is available, unless I play him on Thursday and he gets injured, of course, or he gets injured in training, or he gets flu, or for any other reason. It's brilliant to have him back. He's been our star striker. He's been the standout player up front.
Yeah. Were there elements of the previous two games where you felt, in hindsight, that you missed him?
I would always prefer to have my best players playing, and he is being our standout centre forward. So any team of any ilk, any stature would miss a player like him, especially how he was playing, and he was loving it. And the goal he scored against Switzerland, of course, I think everybody loved him for that.
And my last question is about Robbie Brady. Obviously, he's been such a reliable player and has so many caps for Ireland in the past. He has a real chance, does he, of forcing his way into your thoughts for Monday?
Yeah, he certainly has, because he's been a tried and trusted, tried and tested player for the first team on a regular basis, played in this campaign. And he has not had much football, but he'll be getting some game time against New Zealand, certainly.
Mick, just on the kind of balancing the two games, is it really bad timing at the moment having a game like this on Thursday that ideally you obviously have to prepare for, but it is, as the lads have said, the biggest game is coming on Monday. Is it a distraction having this game in between?
Not really. It's an opportunity for some other players. That's what it is. And if we'd have been given a week to prepare, which we are being given a week to prepare for the Denmark game, then I've got plenty of players for this game coming ahead.
The injuries that have come at this end of the campaign, how disruptive have they been, given the key players you mentioned, McGoldrick, Randolph? I mean, these are our go-to guys. How difficult has it been managing all of them, getting them back in?
Well, Darren's the one that's been injured recently. Of course, David came back. He's had 2 or 3 games back, and he's been playing well for Sheffield United. And how the hell his goal was disallowed on Saturday is beyond me, but that's another matter. So I'm delighted to have him back. Darren Randolph, we'll have to look after him because he only came back on Saturday. It's other players like Robbie Brady, who's not been injured, but then had 1 game and then he's had 2 or 3 minutes since. So it's kind of difficult balancing them between those that are playing and those that are not. But Robbie, at least, he's back and he's been back in the squad for Burnley.
Just as you mentioned VAR, can I just ask you about that? I mean, like, some of the decisions at the weekend have been crazy. You know, it's driving football people mad that some of these decisions are a toe here, a hand here, and there's no consistency, it looks like.
Well, my view is it's ruining it at the minute. It's ruining the spectacle. My son was at the Tottenham game on Saturday. He said, Dad, they're in 4 minutes and they all start booing, and it's the most ridiculous decision I've seen. Anyway, we used to complain about referees, and now we complain about somebody that we can't see, I suppose. So that's anonymous for them. That's okay. But I always say, TC and I would always watch the games back on a Monday morning, despite the fact we might have been having a bleat and a whinge about the referees. Monday morning, 95%, I would say, decisions they got right. There might be a throw-in, there might be and then there'd be an odd one where it's a real blatant one and we'd be moaning. And then the following week, there'd be a blatant one in our favour that we might be, and then there wouldn't be one for 2 or 3 months. And at the end of the season, it probably equalled itself out. And despite all this technology, I'm still not sure that they get the decisions right. So I preferred it before, I must be honest.
Last question from me, Mick. Is this a legacy-defining week? Obviously, you've had huge campaigns before, but is this another legacy-defining week for you?
I hope so, in a positive way.